Hello guys, I hope you and your families are doing well. Jack Corsellis here. Now you may be thinking, the start of this video looks a little bit different to Jack's usual videos, so let me explain. We're going to break this video down into two parts. Part number one, I'm going to be showing you a couple of slides from the RethinkX PowerPoint presentation on energy and the disruption that is likely to happen, focusing specifically on solar, wind and batteries. And the second part of this video, I'm going to be taking you across to MarketSmith. They're today's video sponsor. There's a discounted trial available in the comments below if you are interested in that, where I'm going to be showing you companies which I think could take advantage of this disruption, focusing more so on the solar, wind and batteries element. So let's start off with part one. So I'm going to link this presentation down below in the comments if you want to go and read it. I would highly encourage you to read all of the content that RethinkX has out there, including Tony Seber's work, some really interesting YouTube videos if you want to watch those as well. I think it's nice for people to be thinking in terms of the future, disruptive technologies in different areas as well, and then for us to then overlay, okay, where are we seeing the strength in terms of companies which may be able to dominate those areas, then looking at CAN/SLIM characteristics, cup and handle, VCP bases, all of that good stuff. So let's get into it here. So what we are looking at is solar, wind and batteries. Now, if you read the executive summary of this report, it's a couple of pages above. I won't load it up, but basically the guys and girls over at RethinkX think that the vast majority of the world's energy could actually come from solar, wind and batteries by the year 2030, which isn't very far away. Okay, that's around 7 years away. Now, what is quite interesting, if you take a look at these charts here, now I appreciate they may be a little bit small on your screen. The cost of solar PV has come down 82% from 2010 to 2020 and is expected to fall another 72% from 2020 to 2030. So the cost of solar is becoming cheaper. It is currently the cheapest energy source that we have available to us. In terms of wind, that is also coming down from 2010 to 2020. The cost fell by 46%, and the estimates are from 2020. These are RethinkX estimates. From 2020 to 2030 will come down by 43%. In terms of batteries, the price has come down from 2010 to 2020, 87%, and they are estimating prices to fall a further 80% from 2020 to 2030. So I think this is really interesting when you then start thinking about companies, if there's going to be a massive disruption in the energy space, companies that are going to be able to take advantage of this. So I'll be showing you those in a little bit on MarketSmith, but this is also what I then think is interesting. I really like the way they think. It really it just makes sense to me. I really like people who are thinking like this, and then I can think about companies that are going to take advantage, refer back to charts. What companies are displaying excellent relative strength, building the bases, the earnings there, the sales there, the estimates there, all of that good stuff. So these are causal feedback loops which drive disruption. Now, I'm not going to read them all out to you, but you can understand if you take a look at this, pause the video if you need to, how the old fossil fuel energy sources, the coals, the oil and gas, the uranium potentially of the world as well, is gonna fall foul to this in terms of the old energy system versus the newer energy systems coming through that are going to be much cheaper to produce in terms of solar, wind and batteries. So what I want to do is now jump across onto MarketSmith for part two of this video, and I'm going to show you some of the companies that I think look very interesting and may be able to be at the forefront of this disruption. Okay, here we are on MarketSmith. Now I've got around about 5 or 6 charts I'm going to be showing you. We'll start off with solar, and then we'll go into the other areas. So this is the chart here, Enphase Energy, which is catching my attention. When you think about the relative strength this stock is showing in the context of a bear market as well, I mean, the stock is absolutely screaming at you. So in terms of the basing pattern, we have a very large cause potentially being built here. Higher lows coming through on a short-term time frame, potentially building a cup and handle type action, getting really tight there. Looks terrific on the monthly chart as well as the weekly chart and the daily chart. Relative strength lines turning up versus the market. What is then interesting is Energy Solar is the number 4 ranked industry group out of 197, and then we have the relative strength line versus the stock's own industry group. So this is comparing versus other brother sister stocks, those other solar stocks. So the stock is not only strong versus the market, it is very strong versus its own industry group. We like to see that. 4 higher quality funds invested, consistent earnings, consistent sales, which are accelerating. Last 2 quarters, triple digit earnings coming through, sales accelerating, 46, 86, 81, estimates there as well. So this is one, if you watch some of my other videos for the breakout setups I target in terms of trigger bars, you'll know exactly what it is I'm looking for. This one here, just want to be putting some of these stocks on your radar, kind of taking the RethinkX presentation a little step further in terms of dialing it in to individual companies that may be able to take advantage. Enphase Energy has a history of being able to run very well as well. So we like that. A couple of other solar stocks. is ARRY, so this is Array Technologies. Big estimates coming through, so 2022, 2023 plus 750% plus 185% with the guidance up, triple digit earnings and sales in the most recent quarter, high quality growth fund establishing a position in Q3 of 2022. We like to see that. Now this one just needs to base out, had a positive reaction to the most recent earnings, just needs to base out, as did SHLS. So positive reaction to the earnings coming in, big estimates as well. You can see the strength coming through here on a short-term basis, extended. So looking for this to tighten up, go sideways, get nice and tight, control the risk, make it an asymmetric risk versus reward trade. But another solar stock, positive reaction to the earnings, estimates their earnings, their sales coming through as well. Now one of the strongest ones from a technical standpoint, so i.e. a relative strength standpoint, I'm long this stock at the time at the time of filming. I took it on the earnings as it moved through the 21. The 10, 21 and 50 SMA on the daily chart is consolidating nicely. So this one here, First Solar, extremely strong in terms of the relative strength. However, compared to some of the other stocks, it doesn't necessarily have the many of the can slim criteria in terms of the consistently high earnings, the sales, the estimates there. But what I do think is interesting is the market is currently trying to tell us something. This here, technically at the minute, is the strongest stock within the solar spec. That may change very quickly, but as of right now, very strong. It's one I'm actually looking to add back to if another pivot point can be created. So they're the four solar stocks that are probably highest on my radar. There's some other ones, but they're the ones which are showing the best relative strength at present. Let me then show you a couple of other stocks. So let's do ticker FREY first. So this is a Norwegian-based company focused on developing up to 43 GWh of battery cell production capacity by 2025. Interesting. Fund ownership accelerating. There's no earnings coming through on this one as of yet, or sales, but you can certainly see here. Let me drop down to the daily chart for these last two. You can certainly see here it was consolidating nicely, kind of broke up, a little bit hard for me to buy that. But if this can now just pull back, set up a nice tight pivot point in here, this is one that I'm very interested in. These clean alternative energy related stocks are showing, especially the solar names, are showing a lot of relative strength. And let me finish off with one more, which is AI storage solutions. which I think will play a part for many of these solar and wind stocks in terms of actually then storing the energy. So ticker for that one is STEM. So provides energy storage solutions with its AI powered analytics platform to optimize energy use. Sounds interesting. AI, very interesting technology over the next 5-10 years, who knows, forever as well, basically. Now you can see this phase 4 decline, right? You can see phase 4 decline, stock is clearly in a phase 4 decline. Then it starts building this phase 1 basing action, and you can actually start to see potentially a big kind of cup and handle type pattern, but then this smaller structure forming within here. So the relative strength is turning up somewhat. You had a nice move coming through in here with volume accelerating. So now you've got the 10 EMA, the 21 EMA, the 50 SMA in there as well. So what I'm looking for is just for price to tighten up around those 3 key moving averages. It's starting to get tight, but I just want to see it get a little bit tighter in there, then potentially be targeting an entry, maybe going in initial stop loss somewhere between 3% and 7%. But that is what I'm looking at. So there's other stocks within these areas, solar, wind, batteries, in terms of storage solutions as well. I think it's a really interesting area of the market. There's some fascinating research out there. If you go and study some of the stuff that I've already referenced in this video, I think it'll be fairly eye-opening for you. You will then be able to think about companies that are displaying relative strength, potentially building cup and handle, VCP, so on and so forth, ticking many of the can slim criteria to then have on your watch list. So that is it, guys. I will wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.